the drones over America conspiracy. The whole drone thing is gonna be crazy. It's gonna like change a lot about the world, because if you thought that Homeland Security, like TSA shit was bad, imagine the idea that a person can drive a remote controlled bomb into anyone at any time. Isn't that fucking scary? Like, to think about, like a person could literally assassinate you with a drone. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy now. And it's like, it's way harder to predict, way harder to protect yourself from it, because it can come from any angle, right? Like, if you're dealing with like a threat of like a person, you can see a person coming, right? Like, or you can be aware of like the people that are around you. So you can be kind of prepared for like a you know, for that kind of a thing. But what about you're at home and someone drives a drone into your window, right? Or what if you're just out walking and then a drone comes from above? And like the tools that you need to take care of a drone are a lot more cumbersome, right? It's like to deal with like a person, right? Like, you can carry like a gun, right? And then that gives you like some kind of recourse in like in the case of a person. But shooting a drone with a handgun is very hard, right? Kuro Maru Onisan says drones have limitations on loud report. Okay, well, say you hear it coming. What are you gonna do? What do you do? Say the drone, you hear the drone, and let's say, like, let's be generous. Let's say you have 30 seconds to deal with it. You have 30 seconds of initiative, knowing that this drone is coming for you. And let's even assume that you have the knowledge that the drone is specifically trying to go for you. Derek says use a shotgun. Where are you going to get the shotgun from? You're going to EDC a shotgun? Do you see what I mean? Like, how do you deal with it? Carry a shotgun at all times? I mean, sure. I mean, like, if that becomes a thing. But right now, that's not the norm, right? Surf shorties are not even legal, right? So it's kind of what I mean. It's crazy. I mean, the best gun for it is probably, like a semi-auto shotgun would probably be the best play here. But like, having one of those on you is pretty wild. And yeah, drones can move very fast. By the way, I flew a drone. My mom got me into flying drones, because like my mom bought a drone and she was like showing me like how to do it. And like, dude, it's so fast. There's no fucking, they're fast and they're accurate. I could totally dive bomb someone with a drone, like no problem. With my gamer skills, guys, listen, I played Star Fox 64. Okay, you think I can't fly a drone into a person? I can do freaking barrel rolls and like loops in my little R-wing. You think I can't do that? All right, here we go.
This video is brought to you by Surfshark. Stick around to hear more about the special offer they're providing to the entire Upper Echelon community. How many people watch?
I have a question, guys. When do you think they're... Sorry, I know I literally started the video 11 seconds ago and I'm already going into a tangent. But when do you guys think they're going to weaponize gamers? They're going to make a video game that's like, hey, like, we need to weaponize it. Like, we need like more drone pilots. So we're going to make a video game, but the video game's real. And you just play it from your own PC. Like you literally... Dude, one day they're going to have like fucking... soldier drones, goddamn soldier drones, and you're just gonna be playing FPS. You're gonna be playing FPS, but it's gonna be like actual drones, like just soldier drones. When we get to Mars and gamers are the only ones that know how to fly mechs, yeah, basically, right? Well, the thing is gamers are probably more suited to like drone combat than like anyone.
Soon enough,
if you think about
they already use games for training drone operators.
Right, like if you think about it, like who would you want as like your drone operators? You probably want like gamers, because gamers have like the skills for that, right? I played Titanfall, I got this. Yeah, basically. All right, anyway.
Have heard about the drones over New Jersey. Obviously, people living in America are much more likely to have heard about it, but after the story made international headlines, it's become somewhat of a global mystery. Thousands of independent sightings, vague or deflecting statements by the US government, all surrounded by overtly sensational postings on social media. But if we take a step backwards and try to be
You want to know the scariest thing about the whole drone situation in New Jersey? And if you think about this logically, you'll see what I mean. Every single one of the scenarios, like if you think about like what it could be, no matter like how deep the conspiracy theory or even mundane explanation, literally all of them are bad. That's the scariest thing about the drone thing. It's not that like, it's just like it's easily explainable by some normal things. So you're saying, they're government drones. So you're telling me that they're flying government drones around and they're not telling anybody about it? They're pretending like it's not them, but these are secret, like, government drones. That's bad. Another scenario. They're Chinese drones. They're Chinese drones, and the Chinese are flexing on us. Wait, so you're telling me that they have Chinese drones flying in New Jersey and that we can't stop it? That's bad. They're aliens. They're aliens from another planet. Ironically, the alien one is probably the least bad. That's the funny thing, is the alien one is probably the least bad out of all of the scenarios that it could possibly be.
Objective here. What can we actually learn? What can we reasonably infer? And what's really going on with the drones over America? Because it may have started there, but it's not just a thing in New Jersey.
Tonight, the investigation.
Well, the spy balloon one was the same thing. The spy balloon, it was the same thing. What? So you're telling us it's an object in the sky that, like, nobody knows what it is? That's one. Two, you're telling us it's a Chinese. Number two, you're telling us it's a Chinese like spy balloon, and like we didn't do anything about it. Number two. Number three, it's a Chinese spy balloon, but you're telling me we don't have the capability of dealing with it. Number three, there's like so many. There's like, no matter what, it's bad. No matter like how you look at it, no matter what angle you look at it from, it's always bad. And that's kind of what I'm saying. It's the same case with these New Jersey drones. The scary thing is that no matter how you rationalize it, it always ends that it's a bad thing.
Of small car-sized drones hovering over New York and New Jersey is deepening.
New action tonight as local officials demand answers after weeks of unexplained drone sightings across the Northeast.
The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are investigating these sightings, and they're working closely with state and local law enforcement.
So either A, they're lying to us and this is fucking bullshit, or B, they're allowing fucking drones to fly over the city and they don't know what it is. They have no plan. Which is it? Both are awful.
Resources.
US officials are downplaying drone sightings over the state of New Jersey, saying there's no evidence of any national security threat.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are?
They should be shot down if necessary.
Lying or incompetent, both bad. Exactly, Zero Raider. Exactly
Obviously,
what
Congress
I'm saying.
has no idea what they were, especially if they were talking about shooting them down. The media was, of course, fanning the flames for clicks.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm really worried about like the inauguration stuff. I'm really worried about it because of drones. Like, I don't think they have a plan. Do you think they have a plan for protecting Trump against drones? I don't think they have a plan. It worries me, honestly. Like, they need to fucking get on top of that shit.
But the single greatest common denominator, obviously ignoring the more outlandish claims about Iranian mothers.
Dude, they couldn't even stop a dude. They couldn't even stop a dude that got on top of a fucking building, like in plain sight. They couldn't even stop that guy. Well, dude.
Chips off the coast.
They want me to believe that they can do something about a drone swarm? You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Which was propagated by New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew.
That was on purpose? Dude, both scenarios are bad. Either they're so grossly incompetent that the guy was able to do that, or they're corrupt and they wanted it to happen. Both scenarios bad.
Absurdities aside, the common denominator here was car-sized flying drone.
And you know the crazy thing about it? They're not gonna fix shit. They're not gonna fix shit. Nobody's gonna get in trouble for this. This is all bullshit. There's gonna be like zero accountability as usual. God, this is why I hate the government. They're so fucking bad, dude. It's unreal. Just unreal levels of bad.
First thing to quickly debunk.
Doesn't that piss you off, guys? That like if you were that bad at your job, you would get fired. Doesn't it piss you off that they can like maximum fuck up and like not get in trouble? How fucking crazy is that?
Right now, if these drones did actually compare in any similar sense to the size of a car, it is extremely unlikely that they were simply hobbyist or commercially available drones. The technology for current drone operators, if we simply define drone as remote piloted aerial vehicle, caps out completely with what are called air truck and spray hawk drone, which aren't even really drones. They're more like UAV helicopters that are manufactured by Rotor Technologies. These drones are intended for use in agriculture and construction with a price tag of roughly $1 million each, so it's pretty safe to say that these are not the vehicles responsible for panic in New Jersey. However, a much closer possibility, perhaps, and drone operators can feel free to correct me if I make a mistake down in the comments, closer possibility would be something like the Autel Titan. This is one of the largest electronic drones available for purchase right now, intended
$42,000,
heavy lifting.
bro. That's so
often employed by
expensive.
Companies like Amazon, which comes in at roughly 1880 by 1860 millimeters, converting then to 74 by 74 inches, which is about 6 feet wide.
But does Amazon actually use the like flying drones now to deliver stuff? There's no way. I thought that was just like some test stuff, like some proof of concept thing. That can't be real.
The rampant claims of car-sized drones in the sky, suddenly it seems plausible until you realize that these drones cost $42,000 each.
Yeah, it's
making it
way too
incredibly
expensive.
unlikely that dozens of independent hobbyists across the state of New Jersey simultaneously decided to fly them around in the sky together.
Regular drones are like 1,000.
Again, plausible, but very hard for me to personally believe. In order to go down the conspiracy rabbit hole in what I hope is a responsible way, we have to first understand what it is that people saw. Reports were everywhere, from the BBC to ABC Australia, Fox News to CNN. But for right now, I want to focus on this. Orange UFO orbs spotted over Brookville Boulevard in Queens, December 29th, 2024.
Okay.
Bear with me here because I want to read 2 short paragraphs right now from this particular sighting.
So is the New Jersey drone thing over? Like it's not happening anymore? Or is it still happening? It's over. Okay.
Become increasingly relevant later on in the video.
Yeah, for like 2 weeks it was
Unidentified flying
wild.
Objects ignited curiosity and worry throughout the eastern United States during the holiday week. Vivid orange spheres, reportedly seen close to major airports and city regions, led locals and specialists to scrutinize the occurrences. The observer characterized the encounter as 4 steady lights arranged in a boomerang shape. The post states that the orbs weren't still but shifted slightly before disappearing individually. Very important here. Key things to remember: orange spheres and boomerang shape. I want to also note here, there may still be drone sightings across the eastern and western coastal United States. The phenomenon quickly spread across the larger Northeast as well as California, but the viral interest for this story has since died down.
Yeah.
If you look at Google
Oh, I
Trends
see.
for both
Okay.
New Jersey and
So it
California,
could still be happening.
the spike of search term interest for
It just
drones
happens
above
so much
whichever
that
state
people
happens
forgot
to be
about it.
has completely dried up, but a lot of that probably has to do with the media. See, the government straight up said, whether or not we believe them is an entirely different question for later, that they don't know what the drones are, and went on to,
That's the
quote,
problem.
dispatch more resources to affected areas. But following those statements, the media mostly just stopped covering things. Having been assured that there's no active threat to national security, and also being bombarded on a daily basis by political topics and other breaking news, the story fell out of its mainstream spotlight, except after talking about everything with a friend of mine and seeing the video that was directly taken by his brother, which hasn't really been shared online publicly until now. I became
Exactly.
extremely
Then they said later that they were nuke hunters.
in the subject of drones over America.
That's really scary because if they're nuke hunters, it means that they're looking for some kind of nuclear material that got freaking stolen or something, right?
Especially the conspiracy
A dirty
side of
bomb.
things, hence the video. Take a look at this. This is a map from enigmalabs.io, compiling all of the drone sightings across the Northeast and matching those sightings against the location of American military bases. It's not pinpoint accurate, far from it, but there certainly seems to be a correlation here. And after seeing this footage right here in the background, which was taken by the brother of a personal friend, I won't go in depth on the math involved or spend too much time focusing on the clip itself, but this video, one of several that were taken containing the same object across a multi-minute time frame, cannot be a commercial airline or any sort of traditional plane that we know of, because it's simply not moving fast enough. In addition, it can't be a helicopter or any sort of comparable vehicle with large rotors, because at the distance it was recorded from, there was no sound. Maybe a blimp or some other aircraft I've never heard of, but the more important aspect of why I'm talking about this is because it got me interested, which led to another conversation, briefly.
They are looking for an old white-haired man and a kid in a life preserve jacket in a DeLorean. The government does not want them to fix our...
Briefly, about a secret government program called Immaculate Constellation. And this, finally, is where the rabbit hole truly begins. First things first, Immaculate Constellation, as of right now, is officially denied by the US government. According to whistleblowers, of which there are multiple, it's a secret data retrieval program which aims to both detect and quarantine high-quality UFO footage across government agencies and servers. It's classified as a USAP, which means unacknowledged special. Let's say, for example, that the military happens to get high-resolution imagery.
It was my fault, though.
Saucer, or at least an unknown aircraft that they're not able to identify. It's for the purpose of grabbing that footage, keeping it out of the public eye, and sequestering it away from pretty much everyone, including, and this is the important part, the rest of the government. Well, presented in front of Congress recently, more specifically the House Oversight and Accountability Subcommittee on National Security, the Border, and Foreign Affairs during 2023, there was testimony about what what it is that Immaculate Constellation does and why it exists, which is now, all of it, part of the public record. The key takeaway from that presentation and the subsequent information that was posted afterwards is this. Immaculate Constellation includes high-quality imagery intelligence and measurement and signature intelligence of UAPs. UAP in this case meaning Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon, which is basically just a modern way of saying UFO without the connotation of it being explicitly an alien spacecraft. Quote.
But the source UFO is the same thing. Wait, wasn't it? Hold on, wait. I don't know if I'm freaking schizo here, but wasn't it Hillary Clinton that changed that? Who changed UFO to UAP?
Sources of this intelligence are a blend of directed and incidental collection capabilities positioned in low Earth orbit, the upper atmosphere, as well as military and civilian aviation altitudes and maritime environments. From 1991 to 2022, the most common UAP shapes reported in this USG dataset were spheres and orbs, disks
They
and
changed
saucers.
it because UFO sounds crazy? How does it? It's the same thing. It's just fancier words. UAP is serious. UFO goes crazy talk. How is that like? What's the? That's so stupid. That's so stupid. It's because UFO became sensationalized and lost its original meanings. They call them UAPs to discern pop culture, but then now they're just gonna call them UAPs in like the. It's so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. God.
Ovals and tic tacs, triangles, boomerang/arrowhead, and irregular/organic. Continuing later, after a much more detailed account of how an F-22 had been surrounded by unknown objects, the UAPs appeared to emit a soft orange-red light which, bizarrely, did not illuminate the ocean or the flight deck of the CVN, despite the visual appearance of intense luminosity. The surface of the UAP was observed to be dynamic, roiling like the surface of the sun.
Yeah, that's another thing that they always say, is that it looks like the surface of the sun. Right? So many people have said that about them before.
This was very interesting to me because one of the more common trends during December of 2024, when the drones over New Jersey story first got started, and also let's recall the prior example that we gave in this video itself, involved orb sightings, oftentimes glowing and orange, even incorporating the shapes like a boomerang, all of which we see here inside whistleblower testimony that was given to Congress in 2023. Like it or not, skeptic or not, these are common and very similar themes. Now, before anyone starts in on how a program like Immaculate Constellation can't be real because we'd know more about it, or how the government would acknowledge it, or even generally just scoffing at the idea, let me just connect a few more dots. Area 51, initially established in 1955, allegedly as a secret flight testing facility for the U-2 bomber, was widely known about for decades, but never officially acknowledged. According to the US government, the facility didn't exist. That is until 2013, when a FOIA request, that is Freedom of Information Act, revealed specific documents about the facility, even including a literal map of it, which forced the government,
one of my former
specifically the
colleagues who
CIA,
interviewed me for a
to
role I
publicly
later
acknowledge
got
that it was
admitted
real.
to me that he
Everybody
found my
knew
Facebook
about Area
page when he
51.
was Googling me prior to the interview and liked the memes I had saved and that biased his decision, lol.
Thanks for the bit, Suthi. Thank you.
The government still denied it was there for decades because that's what the United States government does. In particular, that's what clandestine agencies in the United States government do, and they've done it since they were initially conceived. How about this? During a previous video that I made about a trove of government documents that were supposedly leaked in a hacking community called Breach Forums, one document in particular stood out to me, and it was an interview with former President Truman, where the topic strayed into secret government special
Old
access
Lux Alt U
and UFO, which is particularly relevant now through the in December of
Thank you,
1963,
Julio.
former President Truman was questioned regarding his role in organizing a secret panel within the government to collect vital information concerning unidentified flying objects and to keep him informed of any significant developments that would affect U.S.
Hey,
foreign
Kenny.
relations and the balance of power within the Soviet Union. He was asked if he knew that the Central Intelligence Agency had engaged in foreign and domestic covert operations to secure evidence from various sources. He was also asked the embarrassing question, did you authorize Operation Majestic 12? Majestic 12, by the way, refers to a secret program for, quote, recovering extraterrestrial aircraft and covering up this work from public examination, which an Air Force investigation allegedly sound familiar? Remember, everybody knew about Area 51, yet the government decided to pretend it didn't exist for 60 years. Majestic 12 was supposedly a top secret program for the recovery of UFOs, which President Truman was being questioned about. Quote, he was asked the embarrassing question, did you authorize Operation Majestic 12? To which he replied, I never had any thought about it after leaving office. He added, "It was not my intention when I set up the CIA. It would be injected into strange activities of that sort." He was upset when this subject was brought up, and it was sensed that Mr. Truman was being coy and evasive. When he was shown documents which he signed, he seemed very surprised and asked, "Where did you get this?" He was told that they came from the CIA. He quietly and without further comment said, "Oh." After some reflection, he said, "Congress was in for a greater surprise, for what legislators were asked to create in 1947 and what they thought they were creating was an intelligence arm of the government. What they did was hand the CIA, by that I mean the Director of Central Intelligence, the authority to withhold UFO information from the public, including Congress."
Holy shit.
Quote. There's more.
The problem is it's like a rogue, like they can have like rogue agencies in like the government that don't actually not actually responsible to like any of the voters.
About surveillance and concealing budgets, etc., etc. But for today's video, the part that matters is how the United States Central Intelligence Apparatus has very clearly been given the authority to conceal operations from Congress, which is now, allegedly, the basis for a program called Immaculate Constellation, which has specific mention of the same exact colors, shapes, and structures compared to what was commonly seen above New Jersey and the broader Northeast in a massively viral phenomenon about which the United States sitting Congress was quite obviously clueless, some of them saying things like "shoot them down" or talking about motherships from Iran. Suffice it to say, when the government says, "These are just civilian drones, don't worry about it," I do not and cannot realistically believe them. Now, playing devil's advocate here for the sake of being thorough, this was a massively viral occurrence over the span of multiple weeks, and a natural byproduct of that is, for lack of a better word, maybe doing the thing that the media is constantly talking about because they're constantly talking.
I'm not gonna lie, I would totally do that. I would totally, like, if I had like a bunch of resources, I would totally troll 100%.
And people just want to be involved. Yeah, an example of that would be stringing balloons together with flashing lights in them and then releasing it up into the air, which appears to have been something that at least a few people actually did. Or maybe even getting a larger drone and flying it around because
that's fucking legendary, actually.
These types of secondary instances absolutely happen. Probably a lot of them. It's called media contagion effect officially, and it happens with serial killers or mass tragedies, especially when they're indirectly glorified through absurd amounts of media coverage. And the same thing obviously happened here to some degree with the drones. However,
you know what's hilarious? Have you guys ever seen like those videos of like the drone, like remote controlled, like fucking alligator head, the little alligator head drone? Anyone ever seen that shit? They get a remote controlled alligator head and they put it in like a fucking river, or they put it in a lake, and then they fucking just drive it around. They drive it around on people. You guys have never seen it? It's like these. Like you get like a fucking alligator head. And you put it in the water and you just like this.
There's a gator, man. There's a gator in the water.
It's like a fucking remote controlled like gator head. It's actually so fucked up.
Yo, go faster! Come here! Faster, man! He's catching up on you!
That's like so fucked up. Oh my gosh, she's like throwing rocks at it and shit. Holy shit.
Whether or not there was an abundance of copycat sightings or outright trolling doesn't change the fact that the initial phenomenon, the snowballs that set off the avalanche, if you will, still very much did happen. And they still have eerily similar descriptions compared to the findings of secret government programs, don't officially exist, despite a multitude of surrounding factors that make me think they very much do exist, leaving the entire video, I'm sorry to say this, as a bit of an unanswered question. We don't know, and likely never will know, or at least not for probably decades, why those drones were up there, or even if they were drones in the first place. Some of them were planes, yes, a lot of people piled
So here's the question, guys. Would you want to know? If they were like, if there was like aliens and shit, like, would you want to know? Like, would you say like, fuck it, like tell everybody? Or do you think it would cause too much panic? I think we should know. And the reason why I think we should know is the government shouldn't be hiding shit from us like that. And like, if they do hide shit from us, it should always be to like, it should only be hidden to like, representatives, basically. At least the representatives should know.
on board, a national media story, and
if it's like too sensitive to like have like completely public, this representative should know at least.
Thought they saw something, blah, 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 when in reality it was completely benign. But I find myself forced to believe that there really was some sort of, I don't know, secret operation happening. Not sure if I'd go so far as to say it was the aliens, but it damn sure wasn't nothing, like some people are now claiming. Overall, it's a fascinating series of events. The drones, the public interest, the politician outcry, and the reality of how secretive our government really is. But with all that said, it was just fun to make a video.
Because I already think most alien stuff is just demons messing with us. I'm kind of in that camp, to be honest. I know it sounds like even crazier, but like I'm actually in that camp.
At least I hope responsibly. After the viral news phenomenon.
You want to know the weird thing to me is you have like Christian people, and when you tell them like, yeah, there's demons messing with us, they think you're crazy. But I'm like, wait a minute. What do you mean what do you mean I'm crazy? Because are you telling me demons aren't real, but you're Christian? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?
Drones over New Jersey, drones over America, with endless speculation in tow, and then kind of just disappeared from the media. But yeah, that's it. That's my take on the drones, which a lot of people have asked for. It's probably one of the more requested videos in the past couple of years, which is certainly late to the party when you consider it was a national story like 4 weeks ago. But lately I've been trying to have a better work-life balance, so I sort of just didn't.
You know who I thought was really cool as a kid? Does anybody remember Constantine? I thought he was fucking so cool.
Until now. If you want to support the channel, check out the links down below. Very big deal if people want to use the Patreon, locals, and channel memberships here on YouTube. I don't currently paywall anything.
Yeah, Constantine.
But I also want to shift away
I heard they're making a new Constantine. I heard they're making a new one. I hope they make a new one.
Ad reliance as much as possible, so yeah, never required, but always appreciated. Also, the video's sponsor, of course, Surfshark, various other things as well, but I'll cut it there and stop rambling. Thank you all for watching. Question everything, and have a nice night.
Nice. That was another one by Upper Echelon.